Well, since I graduated, I didn't know what I was going to be when I started out. Many times, sales isn't one of those things that necessarily occurs to you unless your parents or someone important to you in your family is a salesperson. And I had the people in my life came from, my mother was a teacher, my father became a teacher and an administrator, and was the principal of 3 different really small schools in upstate New York, and that's where I grew up. And so none of them were in sales, but my grandfather was a colonel in the Army, my uncle was a colonel in the Army, and I've learned by studying kind of their the methodology of being in the military that if you rise up to the ranks, you have to be good at persuading people. And so I think that's probably where I got it from. They used to call me the little colonel when I was growing up because I took after my grandfather. So somewhere in there, I think were the grains of persuasion. And so from that standpoint, I think that when I naturally gravitated towards a sales position at Xerox and then beyond, it was because of that. You just sort of have it ingrained in you, but you don't realize it till you're really introduced to the opportunity. It was smaller than Cloverdale. So think about that for a minute. Basically 2 streets. And I loved it there. I was there till I was going into 7th grade. And I hated leaving when we needed to, because my dad got an opportunity in Washington, D.C. working for the Department of Labor because he was an educator and he brought a certain skill set to this particular program. And so we had to give up our big, beautiful house and the land that we had and the barn that we had. And are you beginning to see why I'm back in Cloverdale now? Because that kind of thing is really part of you. For many people, some people, they can't wait to get out and they never go back. But I'm not one of those people because I really enjoyed it. I used to just, disappear for hours and walk out in the cow pastures and, rub the cows in the nose, and because it was dairy country there. So it was very small, and my dad was the principal of the school there as well as 2 others within a 50-mile radius, and so it's K through 12, and it was a very sweet community. It's the kind of community that if you didn't show up for church on Sunday, everybody came to your house with casseroles because they knew you had to be sick or otherwise you'd be there, kind of thing. It was that kind of community, and we had some. One of the favorite people in my background was Blanche Dickinson, and she helped clean the house and look after me before I was in school when my mom was teaching, and my dad, of course, was at school too. And she was really a hearty soul. I mean, she could just do anything. And I remember her and just admiring her so much. And when she'd go home, she had a little house in town, but it was a really little house, and she actually shoveled her own coal, out of the chute to heat her house. She'd carry these big things of coal. You've seen those things, those metal things. I mean, here's this little lady, and I don't even know how old she was. I'll never figure out how old she was. She was timeless. But, and she'd just do her, and I look back on that, I thought it was pretty cool at the time because we didn't have to do that, right? But at the end of the day, she was an amazing person. I remember after we moved away, I found out she married the janitor at the school. And he was another one of my favorites. I'm like, oh, that's so cool, I could just picture him so happy. And they were older, but anyway, so it was a very nice community. I think it's funny, those kind of communities can cut both ways, because my brother was 10 years older and my dad was the principal of the school when he was in junior high, high school, and I think it was much harder on him because he didn't quite have the same kind of personality that I do. So I didn't really care, and I was big with hand gestures and stuff if people would give me a hard time, even as a little kid. Or my brother would take it more to heart. So it's very interesting how that kind of plays out, so you can never really tell, probably it would have been better for my brother if they'd sent him to a school that wasn't in this little town. There were other little towns that he could have gone to, but and then of course everybody says, well, why isn't the principal's kid going to his own school? So it's a tough one for people. I was lucky because I was really spunky and I didn't really care. My feelings didn't get hurt, so I just sort of blew it off. So anyway, so is that enough about my community? Yeah. Really cute little place, but it's really little. You can blink and miss it. Cloverdale's at least a 5-blink town, don't you think? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sammy Santana.
Hi, I'm Jaden Jenkins.
My name is Raymond Sayago.
I'm Sterling Nicholson.
I'm Everett Conway.